Hi everyone, I'm behind the camera once again. I've got a lot of catching up to do here. I've been wanting to talk about this for 2 weeks now, at least, and I couldn't because I was packing and trying to figure out how to move. But in that process of me and my friend clearing things out, and packing, something very interesting happened. So this story is going to be about Jade, who's getting very big at 5 months old. Yes. And looks like an Egyptian Mao. See the mark on her head and her body. Her mother is a little bit more beige. And she has the markings on her head also. And this is another reason why my friend told me that these cats were special. They were part Bengal. I didn't get it, I didn't understand. So, kind of relates to some things that came up on the Spirit app while I was really, really going through confusion and using the app to communicate with all of the deceased loved ones that were around me at the time, helping me and motivating me. So over here, I am, believe it or not, having a little cup of coffee this evening around 9:45. Watching an old episode of Just Shoot Me on my tablet. And oh yeah, there was a working to Belial today. So here's what happened. I'll try to tell the story to the best of my recollection now. And if I can get some more light over here. Don't think I can. Hold on. There. Okay. So the boxes I had here, I still had boxes here. My friend that I haven't seen for, gosh, I don't know, probably since February, came over last night. So I just pushed the heavy boxes into the garage so it looked a little nicer. We had margaritas and she bought me a birthday present. Moonstone earrings to go with my moonstone necklace. So she knew that this moonstone necklace was important to me. I've known her for a few years now. She is an esthetician, and I used to only once or twice briefly mention to her that she was working too hard. She didn't like to hear that, but she said she's realized that, things can happen. In other words, I guess you could make a bunch of money and then get sick or whatever. And so she's had to spend more time with her family, and she is now finally working part-time. And even the second job she took on as a trainer for salons changed. And they weren't going to give her commissions anymore for reorders. So that's all, now she's just part-time doing her sugaring business and not overdoing it. She's also studied to do sound therapy, which I need to make another video on. So my friend and neighbor, Megan, wanted some spare money and asked me to take her across the street, basically, to a shop that has books and CDs and DVDs to sell her DVDs. She still has a DVD player, and she has tons and tons of DVDs. And I think I had mentioned to her that I was doing that a year before I sold my mobile home to try and make it through the summer. And I was surprised that she did it, but she did. So she was becoming a little bit more financially independent in that way. And then I would take her to the store and she would buy what she needed for the next night or two. We did that a couple of times, and I said, hey, I want to take the rest of mine because I've still got a few, and I don't want them. I'm starting to download things digitally on my phone and cast them to my TV, which I've been doing for quite a few years now. I'd say probably 9 years, or at least 8 years. Turned out to be a whole sack full of movies. I didn't realize I had quite that many, and one of them was Catwoman, which I had seen quite a few times, and it was with Halle Berry. It was incredibly, to me, it was profound. People who don't get it think you're just crazy, right? There's something wrong with you psychologically. But Bast was not only my familiar, she was actually, I did a summons for a familiar, and I had seen her little black shadow spirit in my house before she actually came to me. And she came to me later that year on Halloween night. It's all very mysterious. Sweetest little thing in the world. And I was very, very heartbroken, as you may know if you've been following me. And my friend noticed it. She rescues animals. She does it out of her apartment now. We'll keep them for a few days and find a home. She's been doing this for years, so she has a network of friends who know friends, who know people and relatives. And I also got on to Facebook with my pagan friends and posted in a pagan group and was able to give one of the kittens to a good home on a farm out here that way. My friend had some of her friends take the other 4 or 3 kittens. I can't remember. I think they took 2. Gosh. 1, 2, 3. I don't know where the other 2 went. Sorry. They might have taken 2, or Megan found somebody else to take 1. I don't remember. So one had a heart murmur and passed away actually a few months ago. She was a runt. So then they just had the 1, I believe. They only took 2. She started watching Catwoman because I had been talking to her over the months. We've known each other now for about 6.5 months about Bast. And in January, talking to me about getting another cat. And I just kept telling her, no, I'm still grieving about Bast. And I realized it wasn't healthy, but she just meant so much to me as my familiar, And so I was still kind of, talking to her in the apartment and not really seeing anything. But then I had a premonition of a cat scratching on a cardboard box in there. And then a few days later, throwing up on the carpet. And I would wake up abruptly, like I always used to, and realize that there was no cat there. I thought it was Bast. Turns out I think it was a premonition of Diamond, or Bast told Diamond to do it. I don't know. So when she called me in February, the end of January, please come over quick, it turned out to be that she had gone to rescue Diamond. And I was starting to think I should probably get another cat. And I would name it Diva or Diamond. And I said, okay, I'll help you out. You've got a lot of animals here right now already. I will take her away from here since she's shaking, and she's been through a bad ordeal over there. A bad living situation. No cat box, no food for, months. Flea infestation that almost killed her. Megan would go over and bathe the cats and basically save their life. She got very comfortable right away in my house. And I'd say 5 days later, I realized she was pregnant. Then I began working in February. So now they all had different markings because they're part Bengal. It's interesting that I ended up keeping Jade based on the fact that others were allowed to select which kitten they wanted. So things I had mentioned, to my friend Megan, who really was not familiar with Bast, goddess Bastet, began watching the movie and just kept watching it over and over and over and over and over again because she was so busy getting ready to pack, clear out her house, clean, vacuum, put things in bags and so forth, and a lot of other things, phone calls and medical appointments. She kept having to watch basically snippets of the movie over and over again, and she called me over after, I don't know, 3-4 days of that and said, "You got to come over here and see this, the movie." I said, "Oh, I know. You've been watching it. Every time I go over there, you're watching parts of it." "Yeah, well, I can never really watch the whole thing. I'm watching more of it now. And then as I'm having to pause, I just paused on this one particular section. The picture of the Egyptian Mel that the professor in the movie was showing Halle Berry in the book. And that was the markings of the cat. And she said, "Look at the head." I went, "Oh my God. Jade and Diamond have that." Especially Jade looks more like the Egyptian Mel. And I said, "Well, the other night I saw a little black shadow and it was next to me and the squeaky mouse had been going off, right?" So then I was kind of half asleep uploading a video and I see the shadow at the squeaky mouse and the squeaky mouse starts going off. And Jade is just looking between the chair, to the floor where the squeaky mouse was going off. And I just, wasn't sure what it was. After this conversation with my friend, and we're both like, wow. This is what's happening. Bast sent me her messengers. I said, "Let's go over there. She's a pet psychic. And let's ask Jade if she has seen the little black shadow." So she went over to the cat tree and she asked her if she's seen the little black shadow, Bast. And Jade, just her face changed, very stern, and she jumped off the tree. And Megan said, "Ooh, she didn't like that." She said, "That's my best friend. You don't take her away." And I said, "Why would we do that?" Oh my God, she saw her. Oh my God. Yes, she's been playing with them at night sometimes. And, "Why are you scratching?" I said, "Ask her why she's scratching here and there and under the bed." She said, "Well, Bast is playing with them and they're going under the bed and scratching." I said, "Holy mother, I cannot sleep." So that was pretty awesome. I had my grandmother, my mother, and now Bast playing with Jade, especially Jade. And also my grandmother was, you could see Diamond staring, crouched down, staring at someone. And my friend Megan said, "Diamond says that your grandmother is dangling a little toy for her to play." But Diamond's not as big of a player as Jade. So the spirit of Bast is still with me. My whole family was like with me, And I felt very much less alone, like I had my whole family with me for, gosh, I don't know, a month at least. And knowing that my grandmother had been with me many times, I am starting to feel something brushing up against me. again today when I got out of the shower and when I was in the closet. And I looked down, it wasn't Jade, so it's either my grandmother or maybe Bast, I don't know. It has been peaceful over here. They have not felt the need to come and see me every day. I went home, with that, oh my gosh, revelation, and started studying about the little Egyptian mouse. I found out why she keeps dumping over water. She jumps in the bathroom sink. She likes the faucet. She goes to the bathtub faucet. And I even turn on the faucet in the sink and she likes the water on her. So what I read was that the Egyptian mouse like water. Be prepared to clean up water spills from your little Egyptian mouse knocking over their water bowl. Be prepared to clean up messy water spills. I went, oh my God, I've been getting so upset with her. Like, why the hell are you doing that? So I just cleaned up a spill. She went to do it again. I had to ask her, please don't do it again, I also had to have a talk with Bast to stop letting the cats go run under the bed so I could sleep, stop scratching on the box and the sofa. And one time, Diamond said to Megan, I can't scratch on the post right now. Bast is scratching on it. This is kind of, I wish I was more clairvoyant during the day. See, I don't know what she's looking at right now. But could be, yeah, it's probably bugs outside. So now Tanya had been extremely compassionate towards me when Bast got sick. She gave me money for groceries. I think I made it up to her in some way. I can't remember. I performed a service for her. And then she paid to have Bast's body cremated. I was able to just basically go a mile up the road to the vet, drop off the body, and have the ashes sprinkled at the pet cemetery where Tabby is buried. Now, Tabby looked like Diamond. So for all I know, Tabby was also part Bengal. And he lived with Bast after she came to me for about a year, and then he passed away. And I had summoned Bast only to come in spirit to watch over Tabby because he had almost died. So she came into my life. I told these two that Tanya was coming and she was a good friend of Bast. Bast knew Tanya. And they didn't blink an eye when Tanya walked in the door. Diamond stayed in the tree. Jade got off the tree and came and greeted her, snuggled all around her. Diamond did leave the room for a few minutes later as we were taking the tour. And my friend was admiring my place, so happy for me. And getting to really be able to pet the cats. And it was because I told them about my relationship with Tanya as a friend who helped me with Bast and, gave me money and paid for the cremation and when she passed away. And so for all I know, Bast was here. We didn't see her. Then when we were outside saying goodbye and Jade and Diamond were at the doors jumping up, I opened it. So I picked up Jade to say goodbye. Jade hissed at her. Now, Jade did that one night when I was leaving Megan's apartment, and Megan said, oh, she wants me to say goodbye to your grandmother. I was like, oh, okay. She said she's very, very passionate about that. Yes, Jade is very passionate. I think she was telling my friend to say goodbye to Bast. But I didn't tell my friend that because she's not a pet psychic. She's not really clairvoyant. I did tell her that I had seen Bast's little shadow at the apartment and it was playing with, her little black shadow was playing with the squeaky mouse because it was going off, and we were just staring at it. And she said, "Oh, the spirit of Bast, she's still with you." So yeah, she is very open-minded and spiritual, and knows that I'm a witch and a spiritualist and a medium. But as far as me, telling her you need to say goodbye to Bast when or hello to Bast when she just doesn't see Bast is a little bit much for me to ask her to do. It was a little bit strange when my friend had to say goodbye to my grandmother because Jade insisted. They're her friends, and you gotta greet the friend and have respect for the friend. And one day before I moved, I went over there, and one of her cats was at the door telling Megan, "Open the door to let Bast in." I'm like, "What?" So I opened the door. Bast came in. She said, "Okay, you can close the door now." And I said, "Why?" And the cat said to her, "Because it's polite. You don't just walk into someone's house without being invited." This is all pretty amazing stuff, guys, okay? So take it for what it's worth. It's just about animals being intelligent and sensitive. And she's very happy. Who are you playing with? Yes. So if you can see the marking on her head, and you watch Catwoman, the story about Bast is very real. When Bast came to me, I became more independent. I remained independent. When she left me, it was time for me to go on and do other things. And now I have her messengers who, they say Bast is the boss. We don't tell her no. All right. Sorry for all the sighing. I began to feel back to normal the other day. I've had a lot of fruit this evening. And Jade, what you doing? Oh, my beautiful little girl. She's very compassionate, very sweet to her mother, very sweet to me. Yes. And I once again feel very blessed and fortunate to have these amazing things happening to me and to share them for others to realize the multidimensional universe we live in, the wonderful world of pets, and how they can come back in several different ways to remain close to us in one way or another. Yeah, so if you ever see your pets jumping up in the air when there's no fly, or chasing something, or the squeaky mouse goes off, it could be a beloved cat that had passed away. And so if you've had experiences like that, share them. If you knew what they were, or you're just now realizing you're not crazy, right? This is the safe place for you to share. So now I'm going to go sit out on my patio and meditate a little bit with this red candle. My friend and I sat here last night and had a margarita. And she even offered to help me financially to get over this hump until I get my funds, which was very wonderful. And I told her that the things that are changing for her are really just opening the door for her to do the sound therapy, because when I slept to the crystal bowl the other night, I finally felt better. All right.